Welcome to Mornings with Michael. We're reporting after the close today. Looked like we had a little bit of a stalling or selling day in the business. They call it distribution. We'll take a look at that. And happy Wednesday to everybody. We had some participation out here, a little rain this morning, and then it turned into a beautiful day after that. So let's get to the screens. First, our heat map. Microsoft is down 1%. Video is up slightly. Facebook Meta is down 2%. Google was down 1.6. Tesla was down 1.05 after being up in the morning. So it kind of was a bearish day, up in the morning and then down at the close. Oil stocks are down. We got a mixed bag in healthcare. So that's kind of shipping. UPS is up. And that's kind of where we are there. Here's a look at our annuity chart. So if you don't want your 401k to turn into a 201k, maybe you should look at an annuity. Once you step up, you never lose money in an annuity. Once you step up again, your money does not come down. And annuities are giving about 40 to 45% bonuses with any new money right now. And this is the index investing, bobs and weaves with the markets, and you can lose money in index investing. So what's the difference? Annuity average is 12.5% versus index average 7.57%, which is about a 5.01% difference. So there you have it. Now let's go to the screens. This was Tesla actually yesterday. See if it will refocus for me. Maybe not. We'll come back to it later. So this is the dollar index. Dollar index was, I guess, unchanged. And then it went up after that, 0.10%. What did gold do? Gold continues up, unabated, up 0.15%. So we were talking about this breakout at 184.33. And silver tried to move higher and then pulled back with the market, it looks like. Down 4 cents, not too much to brag about or worry about at the moment. We do have 3 gap ups. Question is, are these last 2 gap ups exhaustion gaps? We should continue to look at the volume. Volume was pretty strong today considering it sold off. Copper remains under the strongly between the 10-day and the 20-day moving averages, below the 50 and 200. Southern Copper tried to move up and was pretty close to unchanged. Freeport-McMoRan, about the same. Vale, Rio pulls back a little bit. And BHP Group sells off from its 10-day moving average. Crypto pulls back. Ethereum pulls back to its 10-day moving average after hitting a high 2 or 3 days ago. And virtually the same with Bitcoin. Look at our 10-year yield. Just keeps dropping. If there is a recession, I guess they're hoping for a muted recession. A lot of people piling into bonds. This is why the yield is pulling back. So that is kind of questionable about where our economy is headed. Whether it's in the first half or second half of the year, people are looking for a recession in 2024. Our 20-year yield was up briefly yesterday and closed down, and it looks like a gap down today, 2.4% down. So let's look at the VIX or fear index. Adjust our chart. Fear index is up slightly, 2.29%. As it hit bottom, and we're going to go up. It's possibility it's not good when there's no fear in the index. That means that there's a strong possibility that the market is going to could correct strongly. So let's look at the S&P 500. Was up earlier and then fell down. This is what we call stalling, increased volume towards the end of the day. Take a look at the equal weight S&P 500. Pretty much the same. The danger here is there's a lot more volume on this on a stalling day. The NASDAQ, pretty much the same thing going on there. So what we do with the equal weight, we're taking all the 7 biggest stocks in the market and looking at more equal weighted. The equal weighted NASDAQ actually went up today, 0.6%. And let's look at the Russell 2000. Pretty much the same thing. Looks like we got a stalling day. Even though it was up 0.5%, came right down. Stronger volume today than the previous 2 days. Dow Jones just keeps on trucking, up 0.15%, but there was slight stalling here as well. Let's take a look at some of our leading ETFs. Financials look like they're moving up. They're not really feared about recession at this moment. When bonds are strong, a lot of times banks have trouble making money. So that is something to kind of look for. But financials were strong today. Energy retreated again, as we saw on our heat map. Interesting, oil prices actually got stronger, but energy stocks retreated. Looks like it came above its 20-day moving average. Pretty good volume there. Real estate continues to shine, gapped up. It did have a stalling day, but it did gap up. Pulled most of it, up 0.76%. Look at our housing index, gapped up and did a little bit of a stalling action. Mining and metals. Looks like railroad tracks here. Closed at same, pretty close to where it was yesterday. Not sure if that will show that it's going to retreat now before breaking out or not. Building and materials. Looks like we got a slight gap up today, up 0.5%. Industrials up slightly. Airlines up as well, up about 0.5%. Our semiconductors up slightly, and software. Wow, look at that, gapping up. We'll look at 3 software stocks really came through today. And cyber software stocks came through as well. So that kind of propelled them. And let's look at technology. Technology definitely got a stalling day there as well. Good thing is that volume was a little lower today. So let's take a look where professional money managers were moving their money today. Got a huge move up. This energy company provides energy storage products, services, and digital applications for renewables. Massive volume, the highest volume since this base over here, and went up 24% today. Just amazing. They expect 400% earnings growth in 2025. Their current quarter ended in September. Earnings improved 106%, were negative 36 cents prior quarter, positive 2 cents this quarter. That'll definitely get your attention. Here's one of the enterprise software companies, big company, Workday. We got a new high on the relative strength line. It's beating 94% of the companies on the S&P 500. Huge breakout, up 11%. Now, it's a huge company, though. And to still be growing 58% and then 15% next year is just simply amazing. Look at this, 27% growth first quarter, second quarter 58%, third quarter 72%. I may be off a quarter since this might be the fourth quarter of 2022, and up 55%, with sales increasing 17%. So there you have it. Here's in CrowdStrike, Security Solutions. Their earnings came out. We'll look at their earnings in a little bit in our education section. Huge volume yesterday and follow through. Massive volume today. Not quite the highest since the breakout, but it's still get your attention. Gapped up and closed on its high. Well, the market has been stalling and retreating. So that is, once again, it's just kicking my rear end as I lost out on my $155 call option. Believe in your ideas and do a little better. Here's AZEK, designs and manufactures low maintenance residential and commercial building products. We saw the building products continue to do well. Look at this huge, massive volume, huge breakout. It's getting close to being past the 5% buy area, up 6% today. Earnings in 2024 are going to be up 31% and another 16% in 2025. And then we got Zscaler, which we talked about yesterday. It actually closed up positive slightly yesterday. And it gapped up today and then it closed. So this was actually a little stalling action, maybe around the $200 price level. People wanted to take their profits, but some pretty good volume. Another one in the same space, Okta. I guess they sold off a little bit here. Huge volume. We'll try to take a look. Their earnings came in at 999% increase. I don't know how much more that they were expecting, but that is a massive increase after a 410% increase previous quarter, 181% and 267%. They expect 2025 to be up 25%. Also in the software space, Salesforce gapping up, massive volume. So see why the software ETF IGV is doing well. Another software company, Snow, IPO in 2020, gapping up, strong volume. What do we got here? We got a triple bottom. So 172.45 would have been the buy point from there, and 166.53. So either of those you could have tried, could have added on. Snowflake is out of Pleasanton, California, or Dublin. Not sure which, because you're on one side of the freeway, you're in Dublin. Other side of the freeway, you're in Pleasanton. Verona system just keeps on charging ahead, gapping up, massive volume. 78% earnings increase this year and another 10% next year. Their earnings came in at 60%, beating the previous quarter. Even though it doesn't show the blue dot, that is definitely a new high in their relative strength, beating 97% of the stocks in the S&P 500. And yes, this is a leader. Also, software protection stock. Palo Alto Networks continues to climb, even though they're going to have a negative year. Apparently, their earnings came in at 66%. Huge volume. Volume just keeps rising. It's a positive sign that this may indeed get to the green sell area. And PDD. Our Chinese provider had a huge gap up today and continues up today, although volume was not close to being as high as yesterday. And what was down? Well, we have in the gambling arena, Las Vegas Sands. There was massive volume, but only if you had a put or you had shorted the stock would you have been happy. Down nearly 5%. Jabal in computer circuit contract manufacturer, down nearly 12%, massive volume. We looked at Okta, Hess Corporation in the oil, huge volume, down pretty hard. Atracure down 3.3%. Once again, massive volume. Relative strength is just sinking down. This is one that was on our list yesterday. Continues down hard today, down another 3% after gapping down hard yesterday. Cigna Group. Apparently got a big sell-off. It has just fallen way below the 200-day moving average now, down 8%. So that's our look there. I'm going to take a look at one other company here, Lam Research. We look, I'm not sure if we looked at this yesterday. I got the ticker symbol wrong. And it's popped up, but then it had a stalling day. Have popped into the buy zone and pulled back, but it does look like a double bottom here. 665.10 cents would have been the buy area over here. We're just going to look at some of the semiconductor stocks that are positive. Here's Onto Innovation. Another cup with a handle, trying to break out here. Stalled at the end. KLA tried to break out and then sold off today. Pretty big volume on this, so I'm going to watch out for that one. Form Factor, I believe this is. Not sure if it's in Fremont or over in Pleasanton, but tried to move higher, and then another stock that stalled. ACM Research tried to move higher and then pretty much sold off. And NXP Semiconductors actually gapped up, closed near the low of the day, but after hours, looks like it recovered a lot of that. So it was up 2.15%, pretty good volume. So let's go back to our list. Oh, I wanted to share the other stock I was talking about yesterday. Cathie Wood scooped up at the low. Unity Software, I believe they had an IPO in 2020. Yeah, they're gapped up here. Sold off today, but for something that's been down so long, this is showing some signs. We'll just have to wait and see if it can get above the 200-day moving average. Had a lot of buying going on here. Cathie, was that you? There's Art Funds. Tried to move up here. This looks like a triple bottom, big cup pattern. Let's see. And Art K. Oh, maybe this is what I was looking at. Here's the FinTech version, which looks a little better. Once again, this is a triple bottom, big cup formation. It's got some good volume over here. So if you're into the finance area, you may want to add that to your portfolio. And let's take a look what I wanted to continue on here. First, we can do a little look at the Magnificent Seven. Which of the ones are people really moving into? First is Apple. You can see, well, the buying has been a little muted. It's selling was a little hard over here. It has dropped down some. Yeah, I guess we been getting a little bit more blue bars that has been moving up. This is stage one. Pivot is 198.33, 10 cents above previous high. Also, Microsoft at a 59% gain. Look at all of these. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of 11 days in a row is up. So you have to know that this is professional buying in here. It's up 59%. Look at Tesla. Tesla looks like it's doubled in value. It was down here around 101.81, and now it's over 244. Did pull back a little bit today. Continue to watch it, see if it can hold above the 50-day moving average. And then we look at Meta Facebook. Look at this. From 167 to 332, it was higher. It was at 338. Now I've been pounding the table about this when it was right around 300. Once the bond yield came back, that this was going to take off. Well, this has gone up 180%. So these are some companies I think should continue to watch. I did buy a big portion in Tesla yesterday, but one share. And let me see if there's anything else I can focus on here. Oh, I guess it didn't clear. Nutanix on Wednesday reported fiscal first quarter earnings and revenues at top consensus. And we can see it just keeps rising. This might be, not sure if you really call this an ascending base, but I completely left out our earnings. So let me go to that right now. Let's quickly run through these. AZEC, quarter four adjusted EPS 36 cents versus estimate 29 cents. And stock is breaking out. Huge volume over here, up 6%. Dollar Tree, quarter three EPS 97 cents versus estimate $1.01, even though it was lower. I guess it beat what people were estimating it would be, just with pullback in the market. Foot Locker, gap up. Look at that massive move. Up 16% today. Huge volume. Had a little volume yesterday, and then it beats the selling volume the day before, when actually some of that had to have been buying volume as it closed on its high for the day. GameStop. I guess there's a new movie, Dumb Money, out. Shares rose over 10% pre-market on no news and continued higher, up nearly 21%. Pulled back a lot at the close, and got some massive volume going in there. Not sure if Wall Street Bets and the meme crowd are moving this. General Motors reinstates 2023 earnings guidance and announced a $10 billion accelerated share purchase program and 33% dividend increase starting in 2024, and the crowd cheered that. Can't you hear the roar of the crowd in the stadium? Of course you can. Look at this huge gap up. Although it closed on its low, it's still up 9.38%. For the day, Hormel Foods, Q4 adjusted EPS 42 cents versus 44 cents, and the crowd did not like that. That's cascading of boos going through the arena. Leslie Incorporated, which services pools, adjusted EPS 14 cents versus estimate 18 cents, was not liked, gap down pretty heavy, but then turned it on towards the end of the day. Huge volume. We looked at Las Vegas Sands earlier. That was down because secondary spot offering price at $44, 46.26 million shares. Donaldson, BCI, Q1 EPS 75 cents versus estimate 72 cents, up slightly, 2%. Pretty good volume. Maxion Solar Technology announced that it has initiated an investigation of several companies for infringement of Maxion's patents pertaining to TOPCon tunnel oxide passive contract solar cell technologies in the United States. Their shares were up 2.5%. PG&E Corporation announces proposed offering of 1.5B convertible senior secured notes due 2027 to repay portion of existing term loan. And yeah, there was a little bit of a sell-off because of that. People did not like that in a big way. Textron approved a restructuring plan developed by management in connection with the company's annual operating plan process, cutting 2% of jobs. Plan will reduce operating expenses through headcount reductions at the industrial Bell and Textron company segments. That was not well liked as well and had a big sell-off there. In financials, Intuit Q1 adjusted EPS $2.47 versus $1.98, gaps up on the news and then sells off towards the close, a little bit of a stalling action. Alipay plans to sell 3.4% stake in Zomato, an Indian food delivery company, for nearly $400 million, Reuters reported. Alipay, it does, I think it's a part of Alibaba. I could be wrong. United Healthcare forecast 2024 operating cash flow 30 billion to 31 billion versus estimate of 31.52 billion. Slightly annoyed some investors. We went over CrowdStrike earlier in technology, media, and telecom. Their adjusted EPS was 82 cents versus estimate 74 cents. Hewlett Packard Enterprise Q4 EPS 52 cents versus estimate 50 cents, and they cheered that. So that's pretty good. It's above all of its moving averages now. See if it can continue to move. They also raised quarterly dividend to 13 cents from 12 cents. Sees promising indicators of continued demand in areas of market we are prioritizing, especially in AI. Sure, let's get that AI in there and boost our stock price. JBL, we just looked at, cuts revenue view to 8.3 to 8.4 billion from 8.4 to 9 billion. Yeah, that would get some people annoyed, I suppose. NTAP Q2 adjusted EPS $1.58 versus estimate $1.39. Quarterly 2 reviews, and people love that. NetApp up 14.6%. We definitely got a blue dot, beating 94% of the companies in the S&P 500. Let's look at another enterprise software company breaking out today. Pretty good volume, not as good as you'd hoped, up 5.06%, but it did not stall. It closed on the high. Open text A little bit of stalling action, pretty good volume on the up day, up 0.82%. Splunk, Q3 EPS $1.52 versus estimate $1.15 on revenues of 1.067 billion, and pretty flat. Sure, yeah, there's cash offer to buy this company, so that's why I don't think it's really moving much. One of our workday, Electric Arts files mixed security shelf, and it's working on pretty good cup pattern. Buy point would be 140.40 cents. And there was one other stock, I believe, wanted to profile. In the enterprise software, Dynatrace, 14% increase in earnings, 2024, and 13% in 2025. Ending September, up 41% their earnings, and a nice broad cup with a handle. It's breaking out today, up 2.26%. And so that's our report for today. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and education purposes only. If you want any further information or advice, please feel free to reach out to us. It'd be great to help you with your portfolio. Remember to keep working on your goals and your activities, and you'll be surprised where you will be in a year from now. So this has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Hope you have a great rest of your week.